5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they did it! They did it!
Left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Kicking it stateside. Back again live, August 26th. Like Brian and I were talking about, there's never a dull moment in this sport at all. Literally dropped on our laps. Perfect timing. We got the Cristiano Ronaldo saga now dropping in our laps. Apparently, he's close to a Man City move. Not 100% official, but it's definitely leaning towards that. We had the Champions League draw a few hours ago. We'll talk about that a little bit. Some very interesting groups. I could definitely see a group of death that usually involves, I saw Bayern and Barcelona are in a group, which is very intriguing. The other one that was very intriguing as well was Group A, which was Man City, PSG, and Leipzig. Other than that, kind of shaking up how we thought. Some good ones, some groups that you know who's going to advance out of probably the two. So we'll kind of take a deep dive into that as well. With the whole situation with now the World Cup qualifying, coming out saying that some the leagues, if the country is in a hot zone, they're not for COVID. They're not going to allow those players to go and represent their country. What do we think about that? That's definitely a hot button right now. Again, we have we're not going to talk about it too much, but the U.S. men's national team did drop their World Cup qualifying roster. We'll kind of give a little teaser on that, what we think. That's going to be more on Tuesday's show because, again, we have so much to talk about today and not enough time to get all that in. So that's another highlighted topic that was dropped. So there's a lot of stuff that was kind of dropped in our laps this morning and afternoon, but we can't complain. Like I said, Adam Modick, if you're just joining us for the first time, Brian Wheeler, my compatriot. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm wonderful, brother. How are you? This is like you said, you wake up each day and it's a blessing to get up, and then for us in our sport to just have constant news flow like this, 90% of it good. There's going to be some bad that I'm sure we'll talk about too as we progress to the end of the show, but there's just constant stories and constant things to discuss in this game. I just want to say hey to Dan, Joey, Greg, everybody from the A2D family. Again, I apologize on Tuesday as well. We did not join you guys. Adam and I had real life shit to handle. So, but we're back and we will be continuing on. So, yeah, it's exciting, man. And I really wish that the news maybe wasn't so jam-packed so we could talk that U.S. men's national team selection today. But I think we'll just, like we said, we'll save that for Tuesday. If anybody jumps on today and wants to discuss it, join us about the other things today. And then back again on Tuesday too, and we'll get super deep in that. Hopefully, maybe get Lord Walker back on again. And I kind of want to go back because I wrote down what our 11 was going to be in our 18 and see how close we were, and some of the guys that we had on the fringe and who made it and who didn't. So we'll definitely get back to that on Tuesday as well. So.
For sure. Yeah, some interesting selections like we talked about off air that we'll kind of go over then on Tuesday. And look back and see how accurate we were about who made it, who's not going to make it. But again, this is probably just a September, those 3 games, I'm assuming, and that could shake up differently. So we'll see. But kind of tying into the poll question, the main topic we had today with the Ronaldo news dropping on our laps, do you believe that Cristiano Ronaldo will make a return to the Premier League? Agree or disagree? Obviously, if you aren't familiar and are new, to the game in the past maybe 10 years or so, Cristiano Ronaldo was at Manchester United previously, and made the switch to Real Madrid a good bit ago. So I guess that's another topic, though. Is that like, is he putting the knife in the back of all the Man U fans that once loved him? And if he makes the switch to City, is that pretty much like you're dead to us type of move?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I said that somewhere, I forget, but like, does this tarnish that? Like, I guess to put it in perspective for a lot of our fans and, the local fans and stuff like that, like, think obviously like you guys with like big time players and going Eagles, Cowboys, long time guys that, bled green and then went and finished their career there. They might have made some stops even in between, but went and finished. Like, does that tarnish the way you look at him at the end? Like, I know Eagles fans always say like they still love Brian Dawkins, but like he went to the Broncos. It wasn't a big deal going to a team like that. But when they go to like a rival like that, like you never look at that guy the same. This is like that, but I hate to even call like it's well even above that with the way this game is and the way the city of Manchester is. Like, I don't know. Like I would definitely put United fans up against Philadelphia Eagle fans as far as how brutal they could be to you and treat you. Yes, yeah,
it's pretty deep. So
yeah. So this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. It's a huge deal for the league because we went this summer thinking there was a small chance that the GOAT could be coming to the Premier League in Messi when all this Messi noise was going on. Exactly, and now all of a sudden the actual GOAT comes storming in the door as Harry Kane, it looks like, decides, or Daniel Levy decides, or everybody decides that he is staying at Spurs at least through the rest of this window, till the next possible window. And like if this is 100%, if this is done and this is true, this makes our job that much more fun this year. Mm-hmm. And it does suck for. I mean, my team sucks. It doesn't affect Arsenal in the slightest. None. But who it does affect is you. It does affect Lord Walker, and it does affect the other top teams in this league without a doubt.
Yeah, it's with Messi, grabbing the headlines, this off season. Ronaldo just said, "Yo, hold my beer, dude. I got this. I'm gonna make the big splash. I'm gonna go to the Prem." Where you didn't go and make a bigger impact and make a bigger headline than you. So just a little tussle between those two. It's like, you know what? You went to PSG. Great. You got the money. You're going to win a ton of French league titles. Great. Congrats. And now Ronaldo's like, I'm going to go to City and I'm going to compete for some Premier League titles. And probably a Champions League title as well. And we may face off against each other in that competition. So,
yeah, they are grouped in the same group. So if this move does happen too, and I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it because we say it anyway, but we know there might be a small bit of corruption in UEFA. Sure. And for this news to drop today and the groupings to drop today and for those two to just end up in the same group.
Let's have it.
It seems
Messi versus Ronaldo, Champions League.
Especially with the talks of, if any team was going to get Messi in the Premier League, it was going to be City as well. So it was like there's just unlimited ties to that matchup and no surprise that those two are matched up.
Coincidentally,
and makes me the same day. Definitely makes me think that there's a good chance that's happening. Now, Lord Walker, our agent aficionado and friend, is I don't know if he's disagreeing with him doing the move or disagreeing that the move's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think he'll clarify that for us. So, and again, welcome everybody. Thanks, Ritter, for recommending a friend.
Greg, these are just my blue lens glasses. I just have a fat face that looks like it, kind of like safety goggles.
Ritter, I don't know if you got it, but I did tag in this very Rings Facebook on a friend of mine had a question, and I thought it would have made a good poll question on your guys' show. So if you check your guys' Facebook page, if you haven't, You probably already done it because it's a kind of a generic question, and you guys are great. But figured I'd pass that on to you. So thank you.
Joey said, with Harry Kane announcing that he'll remain with Spurs, do you think that will pave the way for Ronaldo to City? It certainly seems like that. I mean,
they're not going to spend as much.
No,
I mean, the reality is Ronaldo's 36 years old, which,
is that the reason why the price tag is so low, because of the age?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be somewhat realistic because of the age. You can't. He's not a $100 million guy anymore. No. Everybody knows that. So, but yeah, it's a shame everybody else can't get in on this. Like, yeah. I'm like, where's our turn?
Well, does that open up the door then? Now, does Man City, have to offload somebody because someone's not going to get the playing time, or like, how does that even going to shape up with the front three there for them?
I mean, you could clearly see already that they needed a little bit of help up front. Torres, I think, had his opportunity, and Jesus just played up there. Yeah, I mean, they're
good, but not like
they're good. But if you now, I mean, you see it how to be on that world-class stage with Chelsea adding Lukaku and adding that firepower of offense to what seems to be a really good defensive system. Everybody needs something. And maybe somebody does go. Like I said, maybe we're running out of days. We're definitely running out of days. So
yeah, it's 31st we got until. So
yeah.
Shit's got to start falling, and I think that domino would definitely start. I mean, the Harry Kane thing, I think, started. We knew that was going to be the big piece, right?
Yeah.
Whether he stays or goes, and it seems like he's going to be staying with Spurs for this year at least. Again, whether that's probably ownership saying, if we offload him, like, we're kind of relying on Sonny to be that guy. And, I mean, they've started the Prem season fantastic. I believe they're 2-0, so.
Yeah, and then they also lost to,
Right, you're losing in,
They have a game today. They have a
Europa Conference League.
There's a question. They lost that first game 1-0. They have a game today in this Europa Conference League.
Does he play?
Does he start? Does he play? Does he start? I don't know if I don't see I didn't see the roster come out yet. I can try to creep on it,
right,
and hope that it pops out just because I'm intrigued to see. But
the Israeli Premier League does start this weekend as well. Thank you, Dan.
Appreciate that, Dan. Oh, we do have the lineup. Oh, he's absolutely in the starting 11 today.
I was going to say, they're not going to bow out that easy, are they?
Yeah, they're not going balls to the wall, but there's enough names in that lineup that, with the inclusion, especially of Harry Kane, that they were not happy that they lost that first game, and they're definitely going to try.
I would not be either.
Yeah. So backs are against the wall.
Yeah. Jake said he, as a Man U fan, would be quite feel betrayed, which I would feel the same way, honestly. If you're going to crosstown rival, having the history he had there, with the Sir Alex Ferguson years and just the success that they had, and obviously like a young Wayne Rooney in the prime, like Scholesy, that was the Man United of old, right? The good years. And to go to City, I think that would be a slap in the face. Big time.
Yeah.
But again, Ronaldo doesn't seem like a man that really cares about what other people would think. And it would only help him if he wins a Premier League title. That only helps his legacy out.
Which, I don't think he would mean it in any ill will to his youth and upbringing of United. I think he would be thrilled to be back in the city of Manchester. I think the city of Manchester should embrace having him back. Obviously, yes, I could get it as a United fan feeling betrayed. But at the end of the day, it's been a long time. I mean, you're looking close to 20 years. You're looking what, 15 years since he's donned that uniform at least. So it's tough. It's tough because this sport, especially, it happens more often than not. Where sometimes these guys have a major say in it. Sometimes they don't, but there's a lot of movement, and guys are always looking to better themselves in their careers and the next opportunity. And wherever that may fall, sometimes it ends up at a rival of a former club. So,
yeah, and again, I think it would only help him in the long run if he has success, at United and City.
yeah.
Even though, City's already a juggernaut with or without him.
Can you imagine a healthy Kevin De Bruyne passing to Cristiano Ronaldo? I don't care if he's 36. Tom Brady's 40. Yeah, and they take care of themselves exactly the same way. They follow very similar regimens. They
a 36-year-old, Ronaldo.
That could better than 95% of the strikers in the Premier League. Yes,
I feel like the age is just a number for that guy. So it's again not official. This is not official yet. Just want to state that, but if it does happen, it's huge.
Yeah.
Lord Walker, Ronaldo does not fit the profile of player City need, but having seen the 25 mil price tag, City, I think he would deal on commercial value. I mean, that's the thing, right?
You'll sell 25 million in jerseys in the first week alone. You'll get that whole check back.
Seriously, though.
Yeah, I might buy one. I wouldn't buy one.
I was gonna say no, you wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't.
I'll buy one of his, but at the end of the day, before it's all said and done, I probably will buy one of his Portugal jerseys, just because. Like it's not going to go on; it'll go up. But I mean,
I won't because I don't want to fall into the popular crowd.
All right, you know what it is? It's not even to me the popular crowd, because you know how I feel about Portugal's. Like I'm not at all a Portugal national team. Yeah. But, like, it's just hard. Like Tom always says, and I agree with him 100%, like, you can't deny greatness. And it's just being able to see that guy's entire career and the growth of him as an athlete and as a person and everything. I don't know if somebody saw that story recently, and it's not the first time he's done it. But there was something that came up and they asked him to do some kind of like fundraiser or something, or participate, like sign something to help so this kid could get it and sell it to help pay for his surgery. And instead he paid the entire $85,000 surgery bill and signed the ball for him. Like,
fantastic.
Yeah, or cleats or whatever it was. So he's not only a stand-up guy, but he's just one of the best to ever do it. So it'll be awesome if he makes this move and we get to talk about him every week.
Yeah, and his last year at United was 2009, so...
Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years. I overshot a little bit, but yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see what kind of... When those chips will fall, and we'll kind of find out... I know it's only week 2, in the Premier League, and it's so early to make all these, who are these teams that are 2-0? Some surprises at the top. You got a West Ham team that just can't stop scoring. Are they the real deal? Like, it's a good time for him to come in, and whether or not they make a counter move to move somebody else out, maybe move Gabby out, or keep him, whatever they want to do. I mean, but like Lord Walker said, for that price tag, and I don't even care if he's 40 years old. That's still, to have Ronaldo on your team for that. It's I think that would be a steal. So,
to answer your question, Eric, could they? Absolutely. Would I see it happening? Probably not. But I mean, if the news is out there and it's not 100% done yet, and you're Manchester United, like, I guess financially, if you have the money, you have to make that call,
right?
And then if he's at all interested in taking your phone call, then you got to start making phone calls about somebody else and get them out of there and make that deal happen. But
it could be a real
he might not be interested, but he might not be interested. Like, that's the thing too. Guys have to understand is sometimes guys aren't interested in that like swan song, or because sometimes that's way more pressure than they want to take on at 36 years old.
Yeah.
Like there's not really, I mean, there's definitely going to be pressure going to City, but it's not the same as trying to return to your like,
to go back. Oh, man.
yeah, all these years later. And
that would be a lot of pressure, because then it's like, you almost, as a United fan, would you expect to win the Premier League title with him added to the roster?
Yeah, I think most of them right now are somewhat expecting to win the Premier League title. I mean, after the first game, they all expected to win the Premier League title, and then after the second game, they came back down to earth. That's why that's why we overreact for the first third of this season, week after week, because it's Brighton's in the top four. Let's just say that right now, Brighton is in the top four.
We can't start overreacting in week 2.
But to talk about back to where we were, like West Ham's not Brighton. West Ham's a way better team. Like I think West Ham belongs in at least the top 6 conversation. I don't know if they're in the top 4 conversation yet, but they're, especially if Ronaldo's coming to the City, but they're definitely a top 6 conversation team. They play good, and if they stay healthy with the players that they have, and now they're bringing in your boy Zuma too to just add some more rotation and depth to that defense. That's
I said they made a lot of great moves.
They did
last year, even we
subtle.
Yeah.
Pairing Souček with Kufal, two guys, like you had Kufal already, and it was like he played well as soon as you brought his boy on. That
was
bam.
Easy sell, right?
Yeah,
and bringing in Jared Bowen last year, that was a low under the radar move. He's played great ever since he's been on the Hammers. And even bringing in like Ben Rama, he had a rough start last year coming from Brentford, but
he's on fire right now.
I'm pretty sure he's got the most points so far in fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, do I think, like you said, is West Ham like a top 3 side? Probably not. But, I mean, if you're scoring 8 goals in 2 games, I don't care if you're down or if you're, up a guy like against Leicester. It doesn't matter. You're still putting up some points, and I still think so. If Mikel Antonio continues to stay healthy, which is a key part to his game, he's an absolute monster.
Yeah. And that's going to bring me to when we talk next week's show, too, with him going to be on that Jamaica roster, most likely. I haven't seen their roster announcement yet for World Cup qualifying, but I'm assuming he's going to be on that.
Yeah, he's not cap tied with England, but, I mean, if you're Gareth Southgate, don't you think about calling him in possibly? I know their striker position is pretty already, deep.
I don't know. I think he's pretty much, is done with that option. I think it's Jamaica or bust now.
He started as a defenseman, right? That they were saying. That's why he's kind of like slowly coming on the scene, and man, that man is just absolutely tearing it up the last couple of years. And again, health's going to be huge moving forward, but I don't know. If he decides to make the switch to Jamaica, that makes Jamaica very dangerous, because he's so much better than half those players on Jamaica. No offense to Corey Burke, love the guy, but that's a whole different, topic to talk about on Tuesday's show.
Yes. Just going to keep teasing it. Sorry. There's going to be options. There's just way too many opportunities.
It's right around the corner. It's next Thursday, so we got to talk about it at some point. Lord Walker, considering he has already agreed to terms with City, that's already very against Man U fans and says a lot about who he thinks has a legit chance and legit team. Oh. True.
Yeah, I guess Agon asks. Agon?
As well, why shouldn't he...
why shouldn't they offer him? And thank you for joining us as well. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
No, I totally agree. Why wouldn't anybody, if they see that price tag at 25 and think, hey, you're going to get him for that, why not come in there and swoop under and maybe, say, hey.
Why wouldn't Madrid come back in at 30? Or again, it's another one of those. Probably doesn't want to go back to Madrid.
He apparently has some interest in coming back to the Premier League.
Yeah.
So
because at the end of the day, right now, and if anybody wants to get on the horn with us too and argue, you are more than welcome to. But all signs over the last, I'll just put it in a 3-year window. The Premier League right now is the best league in the world.
Right.
Going off of recent Champions League success, recent Europa League success, just in general, success of the players outside when they're back with their national teams, all those things. The Premier League right now is, I think, the best league in the world by far. So why wouldn't you want to go back to the Premier League? And Dan of course says no, but I get Dan's perspective as well sometimes. Just like I argue that African Cup of Nations is a better tournament than CONCACAF. Just whatever. There's parity sometimes is nice. Our league, the Prem, hasn't had much parity lately, although
so far week 2
early.
parity.
Yeah, we always have parity early.
Wait till Brighton starts playing some top 6 sides, and we'll talk about that then.
Like we all, yeah. I mean, wait. Honestly, the real answer is wait till Boxing Day, and even then, what? Like, look at Chelsea on Boxing Day of last year,
losing to Arsenal.
Frank gets fired. New coach comes in. All this shakeup, all this craziness.
You thought it was doomed, and then
you thought it was doomed, and now we might as well get the cat out of the bag now. Coach of the year in UEFA Coach of the Year.
Right.
Europe Coach of the Year, Tom Tuchel. Europa or UEFA Player of the Year, Jorginho, as predicted on this show.
Correct. You pretty much had that one down.
I mean,
you're sitting here with,
you're
sitting here, in August with the Champions League title, Super Cup as well, if you want to count that. But
absolutely. What do you mean you want to? Yeah, you count that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
some people don't
count them all.
Count all those, but hey,
if you raise it, you count it. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, you're right. I know. And again, I thought as a Chelsea fan, especially, I was like, oh man. Since I'm also a Dortmund fan, I was like, man, I know Tuchel. Like, yeah, he's going to be a tough coach and hard-headed. And we saw he's way different coaching style than Frank Lampard. And that rubbed some people the wrong way because he's, telling, Hudson-Odoi to sit down after basically subbing him on in the game and then subbing him right back off because he wasn't giving what he thought he should be. He's won a lot of people over. He gets a contract extension past the 18 months, and all is well in West London. So,
yeah, you should be thrilled right now.
Right. Trump.
I'm sitting in relegation.
Yeah,
literally.
Thoughts on Mendy again?
I don't want to go there.
The law stuff because it's not
and it's in this is the first reporting, so
out. And not
this is an accusation, so. Right. This is a very allegedly very
serious charges.
Yeah, that'll come up in red card, yellow card a month from now, maybe when this is all ironed out. But I wasn't even going to go there really today.
If you're wondering what the Benjamin Mendy thing is, look it up, Google it, and you'll find out.
Yeah. So, but Lord Walker may have been. He did say when we did our preview show, City's going to have problems at left back. So he might have had some intuition or something there. I don't know.
He has spoke things into existence.
Yeah,
the fact
don't
that
mess with the
it
Lord.
already happened, but still.
Yeah.
Dan, just Google Benjamin Mendy and it'll
just go to BBC Sports. It'll be the
I just don't want to talk about things that haven't been settled in the court of law already.
Yeah.
So before we get on with it, do you want to do a little sponsor?
Oh yeah.
Sponsor love.
Yes, obviously Kicking It Stateside, our boys are sponsored by I changed things up on you and I didn't tell you, but stick our newest sponsor, the guys at Manscaped. what can I say? We've talked about it week after week. They are the best as far as men's grooming goes. The Lawnmower 4.0, Adam showed it to you. We've showed you all the topicals. We've showed you all the good stuff you can get. The biggest thing you need to do is go to manscaped.com, plug in code A2D, and get your 25% off and free shipping on whatever you buy. I'm not going to tell you what to spend your money on, but I would suggest giving them a little bit of love and giving yourself a little bit of love, especially in this day and age. So
love yourself.
You know CR7 CR7's on his Manscaped game.
Oh, easily.
He's absolutely got to be on his Manscaped.
I'm surprised he isn't the face of it.
I mean, most likely he probably gets some kind of high-end Brazilian wax or something. He's too pretty, but
he's not even trimming. He's straight up waxing.
He's just straight going for it. But
Yikes.
For the rest of us who can't afford that, and
he likes baby smooth balls,
that luxury, get your Manscaped, get your 20% off. Use your code A2D, and again, with A2D, like, subscribe, follow. It's not hard. It's very easy. It's a click of a button. Please, no big deal. Kicking It Stateside, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, #1 in South Jersey, #1 everywhere, #1 especially in our hearts. So check them out. They are the place if you need any type of rehab, physical therapy, or preventative. If you want to jump on ahead of the game, and you're thinking about getting back into the workout game or whatever and getting yourself back in shape, your joints and things may be a little tight sitting there for a few years without any work, you might want to consult him. And
you got some youth sports, I'm sure, starting up here, fall, a little football, soccer for the kids. Yeah,
kids and adults both. We all need a little.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, of course, Body Check Wellness. As you're doing all these other great things for your body, take care of it on the inside and the outside with Body Check Wellness. 25% off with code A2D. All the topicals, the power of hemp. It's good
there,
stuff.
Baby.
Yeah, it's there. Use it. Take care of yourself. #1.
Lastly, don't forget about our memberships.
It's perfect.
$9.99 a month. You get some perks. You get some appearances on our show. Members only stream. You get some shout outs. And you also get some sports picks on the Money Pot podcast. And maybe Willie Vegas will even shout you out in one of his videos that he likes to do. I know American football season's right around the corner. He gives a bunch of those. And I'm sure if you got a hunch about a Premier League game.
I sent him one on last week's episode of the Money Pot podcast. As soon as Lukaku to Chelsea was playing.
Lukaku score?
Well, as soon as he was announced that he was going to be in the 11, it was to bet Chelsea to win that game. I mean, again, you Arsenal fans, you can be mad at me, but come on, we have to be realistic about our club and where we were, and we knew what we were going up against in that game. So when it comes to the money, I got to do what's right by the fans and give them good info.
Hell yeah.
CR7 Arsenal, Brian. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, Danny. Danny boy.
Not even that. Not even that.
Poking the bear, yeah.
Is he poking the bear? Who's poking that?
Well, Dan and Lord Walker like to poke the bear.
I know. Premier League is beyond a doubt the best league in the world. I mean, even irrelevant teams like Arsenal and Tottenham carry weight in the soccer world. Ooh, that's why he was poking the bear. I didn't read that. Sorry.
Yeah, you didn't see that shot over the ball.
I was reading something on my left.
He did. He's trying to, because I mean,
I'm a realist.
I'm seeing Arsenal sitting in bottom of the table.
Hey, we beat West Brom.
You did beat West Brom in the Carabao Cup.
Yes.
Woo-hoo. I asked, I'm like, is this a rotated West Brom side? Like, where's Pereira? Where is
Pereira's gone, I think. I forget where.
Are out?
I'm pretty sure they sold Pereira. I forget where he went, but I'm 100% sure he's out of there, I think.
That was a brutal West Brom lineup. Sidebar.
Yeah, I mean Arsenal got their scorers back, but it's like that doesn't do anything for my opinion on where we're at right now. They got a big game this weekend again that could change people's opinion, I guess, but no expectations.
No. None. But I mean, the big one this weekend we didn't really say. I mean, Chelsea Liverpool.
It's
huge.
It's huge. It's huge. I mean,
early season battle against Lord Walker and myself.
We've had a couple of nice early season matchups to start this season.
Yeah,
good scheduling. Good scheduling.
Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah, it's. I'm feeling pretty confident, I gotta say. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I'm sure they're coming in thinking like, we're back to the old ways. We got our boys scoring goals, putting up some big numbers. Van Dijk's back and everybody's healthy. And I don't know, where's the game at? I didn't even look.
That's definitely in Anfield.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you are on the road.
On the road, 12:30 Saturday. Yeah, I mean, it's again, after 3 weeks, it's just hard to say like this is going to like make or break, but it's a nice little challenge for both teams. See where they stand as far as going forward.
As you can see, Adam continues his hesitancy of getting excited.
It's so hard
for his Chelsea team. I feel like you got past that, tough test of the letdown against Arsenal, and you didn't have that letdown. And I think a win after this week, you should not feel unconfident the rest of the year.
I'm trying to be a realist and not be too biased and say, oh, they're going to roll into Anfield and Lukaku's going to score 2 and it's going to be, this blowout of a game, but it's going to be fun. It's Lukaku against another bigger guy. He's not going to be able to just do what he wants like he did against Arsenal, just toying with Pablo Mari. He's not going to be able to do that against the center backs of Liverpool. So we'll see what kind of and again, it's Tuchel, friend versus Klopp, friendy. They know each other very well, so
it's probably in an outsider's perspective. Obviously, it's one of those games where you got to watch it, but it's going to be one of those games. I feel that you might have a little bit of letdown because I feel like, just like you said, it's two guys that know each other really well. It's two teams early in a season that are trying to make a statement and make a stand of where they stand in the league early in the season. Your boy on the road is going to go into Anfield and park that big old bus of his.
That's fine. We've been doing that all year, last year.
Yeah, and there's not a problem with that. I am one that will defend parking the bus 9 out of 10 times, because at the end of the day, to me, it's all about winning the game. And if I can do that and you can't beat me, then fuck you. And that's up to you to do your job and beat me. Don't complain about the way I play. Find a way to beat it. So he's obviously the man right now, and Klopp's also the man, and everybody knows it. So this is one of those great matchups. Again, if you're the casual soccer fan, though, and you see this and you're thinking like you're going to see this like 3-2 back and forth barn burner scoring game, you're probably wrong. And you'll be lucky if you get like a 1-1 type affair, in my opinion. I think that's how this game's going to be played against two powerhouse teams early on in the season.
Yeah, again, like Lord Walker said, I understand. We're back to the full stadiums. The away teams don't have that advantage like they were, when it was an empty stadium. But again,
just remember, I'm gonna throw one thing out there, and we talk about it all the time in competitiveness. and some of the softer generation and some of the not or whatever. I'm not going to get into any of that. But there's certain guys that road hospitality bumps them more than that home support. And a guy like Lukaku, who's gone to Italy and played in hostile environments and things like that, that shit, it doesn't matter where he goes. He can go to Anfield. He's heard it all. He's seen it all. Things like that's not going to faze a guy like that. And that's why Chelsea goes out and gets a guy like that. Mm-hmm. Because that's a guy that can keep you up in the top and put you over the top. Because that shouldn't bother him. But it is a difference having him. But that's not going to bother him. Might bother other guys on Chelsea, but
it's a huge game changer bringing him in because he's such a complete opposite of like Timo Werner.
He's grown up now.
He is. He's actually matured. When he came to Chelsea, he was, a young, cocky kid who thought he could just walk onto the team and do what he wants. And
he was the heir apparent to Didier. He was like,
Didier's his boy. I get it. That was who he looked up to. But he does. He seems a lot, more mature, been around the world. He went to United. He was at Everton. Then he had success at Inter. Comes back, scores on his debut. Just doing what he wanted, basically, with his hold-up play. And it's going to be a challenge. You got Van Dijk. It's not going to be a pushover. I got to give credit, and because I've been on this kid, Mason Mount, just being a baller out there, and I've said it from the beginning of last year.
Yeah, you've said it from like day one of you and I doing this.
Just fantastic.
I think just sitting in school, you were talking about Mason Mount. So.
I'm telling you, just kid continues to impress. And he's I think only going to get better with age. So. And you got to give a nod. And Reece James had a great game, whether or not that was more on the Arsenal lack of defending or him just being a smart footballer. But it was just overall great. And hopefully that translates, into Saturday against a much tougher opponent. No offense, Brian, but
none taken. Like I said, I'm very self-aware of where my team is at this point.
I know, and
it's not good. It's not good. But there's reinforcements coming, and
I know
we shall see. And it's early, and all that fun jazz. But
Lord Walker said, "Stop it." Any big name would tremble at the Anfield crowd.
Oh, but see, you just lost your own argument using him because you already know my stance. You're gonna tell me that drawn butter doesn't melt in the sun. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
the answer is yes.
Yeah, come on, you know me better than that. Like, the crowd makes a difference to Messi. Crowd's not gonna make a difference to Lukaku. Not.
We'll see. I'm telling you, it's
gonna pump him up.
It's gonna be fun.
Wait till they start dropping those Anfield bombs on him.
Hopefully. Yeah. I don't know.
You want to poke the bear? This is what you get. See,
I'm excited. It's gonna be.
I'm wearing
so
blue.
Exciting.
12:30. I'm wearing blue. How about that? You want to poke the bear? Let's go.
Hey, Mason Mount. Good choice, Eric. Learned from the best.
Oh man.
My combined 11 between Chelsea and Liverpool.
We always got to do these combined 11s.
I know, because he just, it's
these.
It's a dick swinging contest because he thinks Liverpool has like the best 11.
Well, you lost the striker spot, I can tell you that.
And I understand that
you got the other top two.
You're trying to rope me into saying that Liverpool probably has the majority of the 11.
I don't think you would.
I just go off results, my homie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I still like.
Okay, on paper, yes, probably.
That's what I'm saying. If you
The
just
game
did it on
isn't played
paper,
on paper.
right? If you just did it on paper and you went through 11 guys,
Sure, absolutely.
you would probably slightly have still maybe the majority, a little majority. Majority could be one more. It could be 6-5. Liverpool. There's no harm in that. You know, I'm thinking right in my head, could I make it 6-5 if I'm immediately taking Sane or
okay, those two are shoo-ins and Van Dijk.
right, yeah. So right there you're taking 3 off the jump. So
Right.
to only find another 3 isn't unrealistic, but it doesn't mean it's you know, Lord Walker's would probably be like 9-2.
Well, the point in case, you're putting Jorginho, you're putting Jay Hendo over Jorginho at this point in time? I'm not.
Mountain Hendo.
That's
in
just
the
me.
middle. Yeah,
You
yeah.
win the, you
Hold
win
on.
the, you
Yeah, hold
win
on.
the 3. Maybe Lukaku over Bobby Blue if we're playing it that way as a number 9.
Based off of everything Lord Walker's ever said to me, and Eric, you better listen when you say when you're naming your midfield, is these European 11s that come out dictate the best players in the world, or the world 11s. I'm sorry, the world 11s. So if Chelsea has the number 1 player in the world, and he's a midfielder, he has to be in that combined 11. Has to. And then I would pick Mount next.
I think Jorginho is our captain.
And he does. They gave it to Zabaleta last game, and I was.
Oh yeah.
Or yeah.
Cesar Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta. Yeah. Why do I always mix those two up? Jorge Zabaleta and Azpilicueta.
Great backs.
Yeah, good backs.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about Azpilicueta.
I actually chirped about that. That I thought that was kind of a kick in the face to Jorginho, but I mean, it didn't seem to deter his play. So I guess they're all okay with it. They all put it. Chelsea's dangerous because they seem to be on the.
You're probably saying Allison over Mendy at this point, I guess.
Am I?
No, they are.
They are.
Sure.
They are definitely. It's hard to do.
It's hard because Chelsea doesn't have anybody that's going to really stand out.
No, not necessarily.
He keeps playing Marky Alonso and he keeps performing. So,
but if you're going off of all time in history, then you might as well then you have to put Thiago Silva next to.
And we know
to Virgil van Dijk.
Lord Walker's stance on Tony Rudiger. You know, dirtiest player in the league.
Oh, he wouldn't have him in his 25 for this game.
I know. It's
Eric's running through the whole thing. He has. Oh, of course he has Hendo captaining. Of course. I'd make Van Dijk my captain before I'd make Hendo my captain. I would have Van Dijk and Jorginho as my co-captains in this combined 11.
You're just basing this off of the year that Liverpool had when they were just running roughshod, when, Trent was, killing it, and so was Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
And
that
the
was
other
2 years
were
ago.
Healthy. I need to see that.
We're going into the 3rd year now since that dominance. I mean, not saying they're not great players. They're great players. They're really good players. They're a good team.
Don't bash Liverpool. Don't bash Liverpool.
I'm not.
Shaq
Shaq did officially leave, though, too, by the way. We did not address
French
any.
League, right?
Yeah, to Lyon.
Nice.
Yes. Sam, would you consider City would be more eager to sign Ronaldo considering the Champions League draw? Yeah. I mean, I think that I don't think you could ever be more eager to sign the greatest player of a generation.
I mean,
for $25 million, like
the TV people are sitting there saying, "Yes, please, Messi, Ronaldo, please, let's have that." Man City versus PSG, the two, billionaire owners going at each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be called the Money Bowl.
You better hope one of them doesn't slip up somewhere in group play. And
we didn't even talk about this either. What about the Mbappe saga? Is he going to be out?
who knows? There seems to be a lot of seems like PSG's doing kind of what
Or is this going to be a next
Tottenham
gen
was doing with Harry Kane. Yeah, a lot of jockeying, and they got a pretty
Throwing a number
solid.
out there,
They got
just
I mean, I thought I thought what Madrid's quote unquote speculated offer was pretty damn fair, and for them to just turn that away like that is interesting to me. Unless they're like, hey, fuck it, we're gonna take any type of financial penalty going forward. If there is one, we're going to hold on to this whole core and we're going to win a Champions League. And we're going to take that money and worry about it later. Like, that could be the only thing I could see.
Right. It's okay, Eric. We love you.
Yeah, no, we were. I wasn't killing the idea of doing it.
I just want to see the Liverpool of that 2 years ago, because you guys are still sitting on that pedestal thinking you guys are the top dogs when you're not anymore.
Yeah, you're not holding any title at this point. So
if you get back to that, I will stop, poking you guys and, saying that you got to get back to where you should be. But
yeah, Adam's allowed to say whatever he wants right now because his team is on top of the world. And I can say whatever I want because my team's on the bottom. So when you're on the bottom,
it doesn't matter.
Who's going to tell you otherwise? Yeah.
You're sitting down there with Norwich.
Yeah, just ahead of them because we've let up a few less. We still haven't scored this season. Let's
see. This is what I was talking about, though. Why, when we were thinking about where to place people and who was going to get relegated in the Premier League, I struggled with the fact that, yes, Norwich made some good moves this offseason, but they weren't big splashes. It's the same team, and you're seeing it again, and you're probably going to see them relegated. And everybody can see that after 2 weeks. It's so easy to see. It's the same Norwich team. They're a great championship side, but they're not a Premier League side. You just see it. It just, the talent doesn't stack up. If you cannot stop the ball getting in the net, you're going to lose. No brainer. Duh. Right, Adam? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it last week. The fact that they hadn't made a goalkeeping change on this return to the Premier League was astonishing to me. Right, especially, I mean, not that it was possible. Maybe it was possible, but like you see a guy like Aaron Ramsdale out there, he keeps jumping back into a Premier League club that gets relegated. Like he might have been a nice option. I don't know if it was even an option or Arsenal was his choice. But there's got to be guys out there that you could have found better than Tim
this is what I mean for
in this transfer window.
Say Ethan Horvath going to Nottingham Forest and maybe not even getting the starting role on a shit team in the championship. He could easily fight Tim Krul for that job at Norwich.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't do much worse than that. Oh, he's got his thing.
Where were we harsh?
Is it part of the Liverpool cult? Sammy, my boy?
I don't know. Because they're asking about the eagerness. And
I'm not being harsh. I'm just being realistic and saying I'm giving him a kick in the butt, saying...
Oh, we missed Daniels, too. How much for Ronaldo at Man City? The speculated was, what, 25 million? Yeah. Again, he's 36 years old, going into 37. I don't think he just turned 36. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
You're really putting Matip over like Tony Rudiger or something. That's just a hateful move.
I feel like just off of legacy, Silva would get it over Matip. I don't care what Silva's done recently. I mean, it's Thiago Silva.
Recently, no, but legacy, yes. But I feel like that would be a whole different argument.
Allison. Of course.
Sam, what's wrong, bud?
Conte, Hano, Jorginho, Mane. And Pocus. That's, again, no one's discrediting your placing in the last 3 years. No one's discrediting the fact that you held both the Champions League and the Premier League title at the same time.
Fantastic.
It's awesome.
Feats. One of the best seasons ever. But
the beauty of sports is it goes on.
Time does
and
go
you
on.
have to defend, and you have to continue. And you've been a great team, and you've been a competitive team, and you guys are awesome. But you aren't the champions right now. And you have to accept that. You have to work your way back to that. And I don't necessarily disagree with your 11 at all. I think, again, I might argue getting one of Chelsea's defenders in there over Matip. And you're running out of argument very soon on Alisson over Mendy. Like right now, I'll still buy it, and I'll still, if you want, I'll still lean that way. But there's a reason in my fantasy league, I went super early on Eduardo Mendy and started the run on goalkeepers. Because the stats don't lie. You want to talk about stats and this guy's clean sheets and what this guy has to go up against with this is how good he is, right? His numbers are so good, and you didn't give him one of 4 defenders, which means your goalie is protected by all 4 of the best defenders in this 11. He is not, and I guarantee statistically he is almost identical, if not possibly better, over the last 12 months than Alisson. And I don't have those numbers in front of me, but we could actually make that dig. But Mendy, the numbers don't lie. And your boy, even Eddie, I'll talk to Eddie later, but I think even Eddie, the Kepa supporter, will finally come around on Mendy and agree with me there as well. So
you have to specify Mendy now too, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Eduardo Mendy,
the goalie for Chelsea, not
the goalie for Chelsea.
The Man City player.
Tony, again, thanks for joining us. And if anybody was joining us earlier where we weren't,
there's your answer.
There's your answer. See, we didn't even have to give it to you. Let the fans give it to you. So
Sammy was upset that we're saying Norwich is going to be going down. No, I agree, but I mean, we've seen this. The only problem is, Sam, we've seen this song and dance from Norwich before, right?
Is Sam a Canary fan, first of all?
I might be. And I'm sorry. I sat there on that day we were making up who we thought was going to be in the bottom 3 relegation and in the top 4 or 5. That last relegation spot, I was tussling between a few teams, and I just thought Norwich, with the history of what they did 2 years ago, and it's the same team. And I love the Josh Sargent signing. I love the Milo Rashica signing. Fantastic. But is that really going to, light up the world as far as, stacking up against some of these top, 6 sides? Now, on the West Ham side, you can see those players have a little bit of a pedigree, and they've done well in the Premier League before. So
yeah, this is also a West Ham side that when Adam and I started the show almost 2 years ago or whatever now, they went through
good.
They went through like an 8 straight losing bad streak through the month of October and like into November of that season, pre-COVID, pre all of this. And they were like one of those teams that we at that time said we're going to go down. And there was absolute reason to believe that. And then since that time, they kind of got a fire lit under their ass. They made changes, and that team has just everything that they've done has pretty much worked out favorably. Not saying that can't happen to Norwich, but it hasn't happened to Norwich at this point.
Yeah,
they're still light years away from that structure, I think. They should have probably sold Pookie and or Cantwell the last time they went down, but they needed those guys to get back up, and I understand that. You know, it's that game, and we talk about it. Sometimes you gotta play that game for like a 5-6 year stretch of up and down, till you can finally get some guys that have had that experience that become kind of veterans, but then you got to add. You have to add. All these teams, you might make it 1 year. You might survive the first year on luck alone in the Prem because somebody else just didn't do the right thing in the offseason. But like to survive that second year without making additions, we saw that with Sheffield. They thought they could just keep rolling that squad out there, and then bam, like it hits real hard. So,
and you're talking about a team, to counter Lord Walker's point, a team that actually was worse off in the pandemic with an empty stadium.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the energy from a home crowd or away fans to get them through. It was just that same kind of like blah lineup that they were able to put that out with success, with a full, their first year up, they're excited, fans are backing them, and then without the fans, they just, you saw what happened to Sheffield last year. I don't need to go into it, but it's hard.
Yeah, Sam said no one saw a 19th place team thrash West Brom.
Yeah, and the Carabao
it's still Arsenal. It's still Arsenal, and it's still, they West finally
Brom
had
stinks,
it's West Brom.
real.
Exactly. And we still owe West Brom for every time.
I mean, Big Sam is
Opened
on
his
Brian's
mouth.
shit list.
Yeah.
He's on everybody's shit list.
Yeah. He'll probably come back out again and talk about them getting relegated because we're sitting in 19th.
Speaking of a manager that really grinded our gears from the start of this show, Marco Silva has Fulham at a fantastic start to the championship season.
Yeah, if you guys haven't been with us since day one,
Cottagers back again.
We've had Mark. He was our first public enemy of our show. Going back, because you and I definitely overvalued Everton that season, and they played like absolute shit under him, and it really outside it. We had a really good selection year, you and I, that year, but except for Everton. And
yeah, we had really high hopes for the Toffees that year at like top 6.
Yeah,
it was like as bad as Lord Walker's Leeds prediction this year.
Yeah, or my Arsenal prediction.
Or my Arsenal prediction. Making it look bad.
So,
I don't know what the history. Chelsea doesn't have any history, and I've said that for day one. I'm not saying anything about history. I'm living in the present, dog. I'm being as cocky as you guys are, but still 3 years later, because I'm allowed to be.
Yeah, he's in current cocky mode, and I'll give him that. Because if I was him, oh man, you guys have no idea.
He would be boasting around. He'd be wearing Arsenal jerseys every day. He'd wear the same shirt that says Champions of Europe.
Yeah.
I'm like a way humbler version, but I'm still allowed to be.
And speaking of, I know we're running out of time, and we didn't get to address a lot of things today, and we will be back again on Tuesday to everybody who is with us.
Still roll unless you got to roll.
No, I mean, I'm not in a huge rush. I could go for a little bit longer.
If you want to do the Champions League draw for like
we
30
could
maybe.
Yeah. I was just going to mention the All-Star game last night real quick too, which is kind of cool. A lot of people are making that the third in a row against El Tree. I would hold up on that because not all these players, obviously, for the MLS team are Americans, and not all the players on the Liga MX side were Mexicans. But it is the Mexican League against the American League, and it was awesome to see our league come out on top in a competition, no matter the way it's structured or where the players are from nationally. It's a big deal for our game continued to show. And it's nice to mix these up. And if anybody listened to the interview with Don Garber, it sounds like that merger's never probably going to happen. And I'm kind of okay with it the way he laid it out. And I think that's just the addition of these extra little side leagues and stuff is going to be how that merger is going to happen. But the leagues themselves as a whole probably will never, at least for a long time, merger,
I doubt
which is
it.
not a bad thing. But I do like how they're adding a few extra competitions. It's always good for players to get more competition and competition outside of what they're used to and seeing all the time. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a good segue, Sammy. So if you guys missed it, had the Champions League draw this afternoon. A lot of intriguing groups to go about, and I know Sammy said, which ones are you eager to watch? Which groups? Group C seems to be pretty good and may fancy any chances. Yeah. Hold on, let me pull that up.
So again, Sammy, I don't know if you would mind trying to get a little background on you and who do you follow? What teams do you support? I'm assuming this is your first time either joining us or writing with us, so it's funny you mentioned Group C because I know Adam will get into it. Obviously, he has a lot of interest in Group C.
I'm not that nervous about the Group C, though.
I would be very confident if I was you in Group C with Aaron Howland still walking through that locker room every day. So
I mean, Ajax could be a challenge, but Ajax on the road.
Sporting is not a laydown ever because they're a competitive team.
We've walked down that road before. I'm not that worried.
Yeah, and Besiktas again, they'll
give a good tough.
They're gonna fight you, but you have Erling Haaland. That's period. He can carry.
Yedlin stopping Holland out there. I don't know about that.
No, he single-handedly could carry them through this group. No issue.
Group of death. I do not say Group B. That is not the group of death. Not even close.
I don't actually. I may disagree with you a little bit on that one. If the AC Milan team that shows up like last year shows up, Liverpool's healthy, and you have the champions of Spain in that group with Porto, who is the better team out of those two between Sporting and Porto. It's a tough group. I don't know about group of death, but it's a tough group. Usually group of death to me is 3 really good teams and 1 bad team, and that's why it's the group of death, because it's that team is pretty like A. You look at A and if you're Club Brugge and you woke up this morning.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's a group of death because their chances are killed.
I would argue A over B. Not to say that B is not hard, but I mean, when was the last time AC Milan was any good?
Yeah, I mean they went on a nice run last year. They were competitive last year, but they lost their very good young goalkeeper to PSG.
Right.
Zlatan's 50. Who they had? They added somebody else up top with Zlatan, but again, they're not super, super scary. If you're Liverpool, you shouldn't be scared of AC Milan, even with history, and you shouldn't be scared of Porto. And Diego's just going to park the bus on you, and you're going to get an example of that this weekend anyway, so take notes, and you'll be all right.
They've given you trouble in the past.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Group A, I don't know, City, powerhouse, Premier League winners. Obviously, you know what PSG, their goddamn lineup is, juggernaut at, full strength. Leipzig, that could be a question mark. But, I mean, who's better would you say AC Milan's better than Leipzig? If you're breaking it down by group of death, I don't think.
They're going to be similar.
It's a similar draw. I mean, again, it's A or B, right? It's in my, as a group of death.
Yeah, I mean,
go either way. I think it comes down to who do you rate higher, Leipzig or AC Milan?
Yeah,
Because, I mean, Porto's better than Bruges, you would assume, right?
Yeah.
Or is that...
I mean, they're relatively...
It's very similar. I'm not saying that it's not.
They're relatively close. I would probably rate Porto slightly over Bruges if I had to do a whole world ranking of teams. But it wouldn't be a far gap between the two. I think you did pretty well for yourselves in Group H, especially if
Juventus.
if he's on his way out the door, and there's also talks of McKinney still possibly being on his way out the door, which would be crazy. Then
I saw that Massimiliano Allegri does not rate McKinney very high.
Yeah,
talks of the Prem maybe.
So that that could be. Not that Zenit's terrible, too bad Dan left already because he would defend the hell out of Zenit. And Sam, you said it. Actually, Sam said it exactly at the exact same time too. Zenit can be tricky,
yes.
But I don't think as champions of the world, you're overly scared with Zenit or Malmo at this point. I think Group G is a fun watch because you have the champions of France as it sits right now.
That's very interesting. That's almost like that could be a toss-up, to be honest.
That's a really hard group to pick because I wouldn't count out Salzburg. They're playing well.
I mean, is Sevilla the best team in that group? I guess.
I guess off recent success, yeah, they're Europa, right? Or no, they're 2 years removed from that now. I guess Lille is. Lille's the current champions of France.
Yeah.
They won the league last year and the cup in the preseason. So
Wolfsburg's like a mid-table.
Yeah,
5-4 side.
Wolfsburg probably doesn't get a point in
Salzburg.
In group play.
I mean, again,
Salzburg's going to
really
compete. Yeah.
That Aronson boy, whew.
He's big goals at big
time. By storm, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's kind of putting them on. It's funny because Haaland, when he was there, did the same thing.
Yeah,
he kind of put them on his back and carried them a decent way through the Champions League as far as he could. And now Aronson seems to be doing the same thing. But yeah, Sevilla and Lille are going to be tough. F's interesting with Villarreal and United getting paired back up.
Little matchup in Europa League final.
Yeah, a little Europa League final rematch at Atlanta, and a tough draw for my young boys out of Switzerland, and
Atalanta,
and my buddy. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's what else? Group E,
Bayern and Barcelona. That's I don't know. It's not as intriguing anymore. But no. I think Bayern probably easily wins that group.
Yeah, I would expect. And D with Milan and Madrid.
Isn't Shakhtar. That like the same group last year? Literally,
they're just missing Gladbach. They got replaced.
The same teams.
Yeah, with the Moldova
Inter Madrid
side.
And Shakhtar were all in the same group last year.
So does that mean that what is it, Sheriff Tiraspol is going to beat Madrid twice, but Madrid's still going to find a way to come out of the group? Is that
seems like it?
Is that the move here? Yeah, it's very similar.
Shakhtar that had 2 wins and it was like both 6-0 over like Gladbach.
Yeah, it was like, Gladbach or no, Shakhtar beat Madrid both times.
Was it?
Yeah, but then Gladbach was
beat the shit out of Shakhtar.
Out of Shakhtar, like 8-0. Yeah,
right,
yeah. It was a very odd group. So that could be an intriguing group too. Again, Inter's not a bad team. Losing Lukaku doesn't help, but
and Shakhtar just snuck through on their qualifying against Monaco the other day. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. Yeah, I'd still say A, B. It's a toss up.
Oh
again,
yeah,
it's.
I already said that draw seems fishy. That the City PSG thing makes it the most fishy.
It's extremely fishy, and
with the news being dropped and all that. So
yeah,
You know, do I need to say it again? Lord Walker, you know that. What's UEFA spell? What's it an acronym for? Corruption? What? Did I say that? So
There's definitely a U in UEFA.
yeah.
Yes, the same 3 teams that were vying for 2 spots in last year's grouping somehow get grouped in the same grouping again this year.
Yeah.
Because it was so entertaining because everybody kept beating each other.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And now we don't have away goals, right?
Yeah, that's out.
No more away goals, so it doesn't matter.
Straight up.
You just got to handle your business.
Which, how does everyone feel about that?
Yeah, we didn't even really get a chance to talk too much about that either.
I kind of like it. Or I'm interested to see how it plays out. Because everyone's so worried about being on the road and going after it.
Yeah, well, that's why I like it, because there were so many times where you got a very dull game because people were nervous to go chase it. So now it doesn't matter. Goals are goals. You just got to go out there and play your game.
It was a tactical surprise because you really had to change. Now it'll change it up. You don't have to really sit back much. You're just going to go after it. That first leg,
yeah,
go for it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, it's going to be I didn't hate the rule, but I think it definitely confused a lot of people as well. They're like, well, why does that team win?
Yeah, for the outsiders, I think it's great that they changed the rule, because there was a lot of times you would even see it on ESPN misreporting, because it would look like a team would win the game, but they wouldn't advance, and whoever they had working their thing, we kill them all the time anyway when it comes to soccer.
Trust me, in the
did you see that tweet? You saw that tweet I put up the other day where it was captioned about Weston McKennie, and it was like
it was not Weston
McConnell or somebody. Yeah, I'm like, guys.
Oh yeah, it was it? Yeah, it was Tyler Adams, right? And it was like McConnell.
I don't even think it was. No, they were talking about McKennie with Juventus, and it was a picture of a dude from Leipzig, and it wasn't even Tyler Adams. That was the worst part. It wasn't even an American. It was terrible, and it was captioned like I was like, hold on, yeah.
ESPN kills the game for soccer. Let's just be honest; they're great.
Yeah. And you didn't mention your new defender either, I guess, with Zuma going out. Doesn't seem like a lot of people know much about him, but he is from Sevilla, and he's younger than Zuma.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a nice move, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Poor Kurt. Just the odd man out.
Yeah. Could this kid be that defender that breaks into Lord Walker's 11?
Never.
Jules Kondu.
Yeah, he's naughty.
Nah.
What's up, Sammy? If you had to name 2 teams you fancy winning. Oof.
Well,
put me on the spot.
I'll go first so you can think, because I got one I can jump right to.
Are you going to go with your own boys?
Yes, because if August 31st rolls around and Robert Lewandowski is still the striker of Bayern, and we still have Serge Gnabry, and we still have that entire team put together and nothing else has changed, absolutely, Bayern has an opportunity to defend, because we know that they can take time off and they can run rotated squads in their own league and still handle either winning their league or at least get their top 4 to stay in Champions League, and they can put all their focus into the big league. And I mean, we saw it the other day. I know it was against a 5th league German side, but come on, 12 goals. Like, I know. And they tried to let off. Like, that was the thing. It wasn't like they were trying to be mean about it. They were like,
yeah, I mean, I was more saying that, hey, 12 goals against anybody, I don't care what tier, is still insane.
Yeah.
Even if you're going up against basically like academy kids, that's just...
You could pick the best team and the worst team in FIFA and put it on easy and you might have had hard time scoring 12 goals. Sooner or later, somebody's going to stand in front of one. Like
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Byron's definitely one.
You would have to say there you have to be 1 or 2 on the odds of winning champion.
And then if back to the show and the poll topic and what this whole show was about today.
The season shake out a little bit before I'm starting to make.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Crazy Champions League. I haven't seen anybody play. It's 2 weeks in.
If Ronaldo's putting the baby blue on, City goes up the Champions League ranks. PSG obviously is already up the Champions League ranks. Chelsea is up the Champions League ranks because they're the defending champions.
If a healthy Liverpool team comes out and plays,
they're up the Champions League rank.
There.
Oh, absolutely. Atletico,
maybe I don't know.
They'll be competitive to win Spain because Spain is just getting thinner and thinner, and they're a good team. But I don't know about in Champions League. I don't think Simeone's. It doesn't play well enough.
Not that Simeone Shine's gone, but he had that time where he was the. They play Champions League finals. Yes, of course, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Putting a lot of stock into him and.
Oh, and even though I shouldn't be breaking their news, but at this point, I don't even care. Tottenham was angry. They're up 2-0. Harry Kane's got both goals. So I guess he's back.
He scored.
He scored in the 9th and 34th minute. They're in the 38th minute. They're up 2-1. They're now up 2-1 in the aggregate. And with
send him home,
with our boy Nuno, he's just going to park that bus like we talked about doing that earlier in the show. And most likely I would think Spurs advance in this weird little tournament that is
the Europa Conference.
The third tournament in Europe. Congratulations to Eddie's Rangers advancing in Europa today by the skin of their teeth, off winning the first game 1-0 and drawing today 0-0 with being a man up for almost 50 minutes. So not quite the Rangers team we saw last year making their run. Eddie may be a little bit concerned.
It's not your dad's Rangers team.
It's not your uncle's Rangers team all of a sudden. But they did advance. That's all you ask, right? You got to advance. My team's not even in Europa, or the other Europa League, so I can't make fun of either one of them.
I'm just spitting facts, man. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm being realistic. I'm not being a hater of Liverpool. I'm just saying. You act all high and mighty like you're still top dogs. You're not. And I just want to see a healthy, Van Dijk and Gomez come back in the team and, get to that point. I'm not hating. I do need to see a healthy Liverpool team. Again, we're only 2 weeks in. We'll see on Saturday, my friend. We will see how that shakes up. And you can come on next show and you can talk shit to me if you beat us. Now that made me almost spit out my tea. Come on. Injury-riddled Liverpool is better than a healthy Chelsea team. Stop.
Well, I would say last year just proves that as of current standings, and we can keep arguing.
You can't even sit there with a straight face and type that out. I know you couldn't have. I know you know
he's smiling the entire time he writes.
Of course he is. He's going to put up the poking the bear signal next.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. I'm just saying, I want to see Liverpool get back to that. But then I also don't, because then that's bad for everyone else. I'm just saying, I want to see the full Liverpool team healthy, kicking ass, and back to where they were. Yeah. You can't walk around with your chest out when it's 2 years removed.
And to answer your question, Eric, there really hasn't been one in like my lifetimes, like of being an Arsenal fan, or even in recent history of an Arsenal. The biggest one going the other way was Sol Campbell started with Tottenham. Didn't even have that. It wasn't that great of a career, and then comes to Arsenal and has a pretty legendary career. So they pretty much hate on the other side, I guess. But there hasn't been much of that with this rivalry. There's only a few guys that have played for both in general, and it's pretty dated on guys that came from Tottenham to Arsenal. There's not much business between the two. I was actually looking at something the other day, and I forget who the name, but there's one guy ever in the history to play for Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham, to play for all three of those London squads.
That's like zero allegiance.
Yeah. Hey, Jose's one coaching job away from
It's true. Make it a trifecta.
Yeah, we might need one soon.
We'll see. We shall see, my friend.
Yes, they placed a spot behind you in the league while they were saving their energy winning Champions League. I mean, we can play semantics all day. I don't care either way. I hate both of you, not as people, but as teams you support. So, but right now I have to be.
I know.
I have to be.
I just don't sit here and make excuses like y'all do.
Yeah, I mean,
I could say we fired our coach halfway through the season and still finished 4th.
Yeah.
I could say that, but I'm not going to.
You could.
And I could say you still finished 3rd with an injured, Van Dijk and Gomez.
And Allison.
And a bunch of I know. You'll tell me the injury list, but
we've already danced that dance. I'm about like you said, we're in the now, man. This is the now.
I'm talking about it
on
Saturday.
Exactly. Let Saturday do the talking. If Chelsea can go into Anfield and not get a result, win, then it's got to stop for a while. If they go into Anfield and draw, then, I mean, that would be typical, because that's what I said in the beginning of the show, and you would expect Tuchel probably to most likely play for. That's been his game since he's taken over the team.
Right.
If they go in and they get stomped by this Liverpool team, then, hey, we're in the now, and you'll have all week next week to talk. But you still have to remember, like when you guys were champions, one game doesn't take your title away. It goes both ways, when you're on top and when you're not. So you got to be fair on that end.
Having your cake and eating it too.
So Saturday, we will see. I'm going to be a very entertained neutral, I will tell you that.
You're just going to kick back, feet up.
Yeah. And then when we come back on Tuesday, we'll have that game to talk about. And Lord Walker, if you will join us, we would like to talk about this U.S. men's national team selection that came out today as well, that we weren't even going to touch because we had way too much other things to discuss. So that is the plan for everybody. We would love to have everybody back as usual on Tuesday. A2D Radio, anywhere you get your podcast, whether you watch us live or join us later, we are kicking it stateside. Big show for next week, where we can give a little bit of praise to Greg, and I'm going to attack the hell out of Greg. But as usual, we've been attacking him, and what he's done has worked, and it's been defended on the field. So,
yeah, I can't knock him because he hasn't done anything wrong at all.
No, but I will question a few of these moves.
It's interesting. It definitely is.
And again, make them prove to some of us doubters on certain players that maybe we're wrong, and some of these guys still have a little more in the tank than we thought, where they have a little bit more to offer than we thought.
I've actually seen a lot of more praising, which I thought there'd be more backlash with the team he selected, but maybe I'm in the minority.
Maybe.
I thought it was the weird lineup, and I said, "What?" I was like, "What?"
It seems
to be like people are
Well, we said it when we did that show, and we talked about it, that there was going to be some ones that we may not agree with, but we knew were coming down the pipeline just because we know how he is, and they've had recent success.
And a veteran, like I said, that I thought maybe they would leave off or they would bring on, and they decided to bring him on as a veteran guy in there. So
but join us Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting up. It's Thursday, right? Next Thursday we got El Salvador.
Is it Thursday? I think it's
Friday.
Friday, yeah. So we'll actually get the show before that when we do that weekend's. Actually, we'll be an international break, so that would be perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We'll basically get it. So Tuesday's show, we'll recap this weekend's Prem, and we'll start the breakdown of the rosters. Thursday's show will continue the breakdown of the rosters and preview these games coming up. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Because we are into qualifying. People, you're getting what you wanted, right? Like,
this is it.
For the outsider fan, now's the time to jump on board and start watching these qualifying games and backing your team and backing your country. We need it.
We want to have a party. We want to have that party like we had back in 2014.
Yeah, man. Bigger party, more successful party, a longer party.
Yeah. A Christmas party, since it's going to be in December.
Yeah, that'd be great. And New Year's.
Whew, those would be fun parties if they, hey, again, I don't want to get too much into it, but if they make a nice run, it'll be a definite party going into us hosting then in 2026. So
absolutely. So, all right. Well,
yeah.
You got anything else?
I don't think so, man. It was good talk. You know, we got in what we wanted to talk about. Champions League, Ronaldo, the big Chelsea, Liverpool were the big three. I guess we could kind of get into that other, with the leagues not letting certain teams go in the red zones of COVID.
Yeah, that can kind of tie in, I guess, to red card, yellow card.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I'm 100% against it. I feel like if this guy wants to go represent his country, then you let him go represent his country, and you don't hold him back. The only reason to ever hold a guy back, I feel, and we've talked about it, is actual injury, not the threat of potential injury or anything like that. You can't live your life in a bubble. These guys work their asses off their whole lives. They want to represent their countries. So if they want to represent their country, let the guys go. It doesn't matter what country they're going to. It's kind of discriminatory to say that they can't go back if they're here, or here. And that's not fair to the teams if it's one of their better players. So
yeah, it's tough.
I think this whole thing will pass. I don't think it'll actually be allowed. I think UEFA will step in as negatively as I talked about UEFA earlier in the show and the corruption.
Do something. Step in.
They love their money, and this could affect that as well. So I think they will step in and do.
They don't care about your health. They care about the cash.
Don't get me started.
Oh no!
Thank God, it's the end of the show. So
well, I know, Brian. Eric would say red card to Arsenal.
Oh, man, if there wasn't so much other shit going on, absolutely. I can't even, they're not even worth my red card right now. Like, I've red carded them so many times.
I could say probably the Canaries because...
Yeah. You're going to hurt Sam's feelings again.
I don't mean to, Sammy. I really don't. But I got to... really...
You got to give them a yellow. Right now, you got to give them a yellow. They're still on notice.
I see the writing on the wall, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I even said, you could ask Brian, I thought Norwich, originally I thought they were going to have a decent season with the signings they made.
Yeah.
But then
they never added to the back.
That's just not good enough in the Prem. I'm sorry.
You got to build from the back in the Prem, and they did not.
So, I apologize, but again, we're only in week 2, guys. It's we got a lot of time to go.
Yeah, let's not overreact any way possible, but yeah.
Don't react.
I have nothing to say. We're playing with house money again this week. So
you got to do something, brother.
Yeah, so just quick, I guess, before we head off, just so everybody knows, since we didn't really announce them all and we only talked about very specific games. If you want to watch games this weekend, start at 7:30 in the morning is the breakfast game. It is Arsenal. It is Man City. Even if Ronaldo is part of Man City, he will not be available for this game yet. So it does not get any better for Arsenal.
I didn't realize that. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. On the road. On the road at the Etihad. So we will be most likely starting the season with 3 straight losses and a very significant negative goal differential. I'm a realist. I hope you prove me wrong. Gunners are back. Aubameyang's back. I don't know what to say. It's not going to be pretty. But if you want to have some fun, wake up 7:30 Eastern time. Watch that game. Then you got Villa Brentford, Brighton Everton, Newcastle Southampton, Norwich Leicester, and West Ham Crystal Palace, all in the 10 o'clock block, followed by Liverpool Chelsea, the big one, at 12:30. And then back again on Sunday. Spend your Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock. Burnley Leeds, Tottenham Watford. Again, Harry Kane's back. Scored 2 goals for Tottenham today in that Europa League, so expect him to be probably in the starting 11 with Sonny against Watford, and Watford maybe doesn't look like as good as they started. And then you got Wolves at home against United. Rounds out the weekend. I don't think we have a Monday game. No Monday game. So that's everything this weekend.
Toot.
Yes. Oh, and yes, Lord Walker, I know we talk about this all the time. We miss these things because of
Fabi.
Yeah, but condolences to Fabinho and his family losing his father. So never good for anybody when that happens. So
for sure.
Liverpool ends up getting level on this show some way today. Lord Walker made sure of it.
It's even hard for me to do that.
Yep. So, all right, guys. Well,
there's no hate train, baby. I'm just Again, you sit at the bottom of the table, -8. I don't care who you play.
Yeah.
And you got the Foxes coming up, so you might as well chalk that up to -11 over 3.
Eric, you might want to be careful on that second one. Although I'm not promoting that league at all.
Wow. That's a whole different show. We'll have to ask someone else.
Yeah, of all teams too. You might want to be careful.
I was going to say, there's no legs to stand on for Philadelphia.
So, all right. On that note,
it should be like, who's worse, Arsenal or the Eagles?
Yeah. For the Phillies right now. God, they're breaking my heart.
Yikes.
Let's not go there.
I know. It's a whole other heartache. Thank God I'm not a Phillies fan, though.
Yes, lucky
and
you.
I'm a huge Eagles fan, and I still think they stink. But
thank God I only like one team in that city, or I would probably be dead.
Heartbreak City.
Yeah, so my heart couldn't take that.
Before we get on a depressing rampage of Philadelphia sports, we will see you guys Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And go Blues.
Yeah, man. Later.
Love you.